marked by survival. By a kind who refuses to die. Shouldn't we too try to survive? The truth is, we don't all deserve to make it.
Hey guys, Pete here. Are you watching Westworld and wondering what's going to come up next week? Well, this will be a trailer breakdown for episode 3 of Westworld Season 2. They're actually calling it a teaser, what we have here. Last week we had In the Coming Weeks, which had a trailer with stuff that was in this episode and will be in future episodes. I feel like most of what we just saw will actually be in the episode coming up this week. Game of Thrones did that a little bit last season, so hopefully we'll fall into a regular trailer routine as the season progresses. The teaser is called Survival, but the episode is actually titled Virtue e Fortuna, which translates rather simply into Virtue and Fortune. Let's break this down scene by scene. There's not a whole lot here, and then let's discuss what we think's going to happen next week. So the trailer opens with a shot of a train tunnel. You can see a plume of smoke. It makes it look like a train has just gone through, or just entered, I guess you would say. I feel like there has been some foreshadowing related to this canyon scenery. Of course, the train tunnel's going through the canyon wall. At the end of the last episode, we got some ideas that Dolores and Bill, the man in black, are going to the same place, something that he showed her in the past. I don't think we have anything that says this is exactly what that is, but we did see the canyon being built, and we saw that shot of the canyon several times. The voiceover is pretty short and sweet. Dolores says the world out there is marked by survival, by a kind that refuses to die. Shouldn't we too try to survive? And she says that to Bernard. The truth is, we don't all deserve to make it. After the tunnel scene, we see Delos employees with machine guns going across what looks like a battlefield. You can see that it's been fortified with like some wooden spikes, so there should be defenders waiting for these guys to arrive. See smoke in the air, and then we see another shot of the super cool dune buggies that they drive around, and that lets us know that this is probably in the lead up to when we saw them arrive on the beach. The next shot is a bit mysterious. I've been looking at it and I can't really make out exactly what's going on. You can see a host is walking away in front of these other hosts who all have guns drawn and are getting ready to shoot at something. What we do see here is the evolution of the hosts who look like the Wyatt guys that we saw in the very first trailer. We can see that they're banded together. What they're shooting at, I have no idea. It cuts to a shot of Angela, but that is unrelated as far as you can tell by the location. My first guess was this line of guys shooting was in Sweetwater, but it could really be anywhere in the park. There's nothing that totally gives it away as to what or where they're at. As mentioned, we do see the Crown of Thorns wearing Angela with a long gun. She cocks it and gives it a shot. We can see that Dolores is behind her in this. It looks like it's out on the prairie, and Dolores has some blood that you can see on her shoulder in this actual shot. As far as timing goes, it's really kind of difficult at this point to put things together. We know all of this goes down in between when Ford dies and when Delos arrives on the beach, but we're going to have a lot more in order to stitch the timing together. After that, we do have the scene where Dolores is talking to Bernard, and she's talking about they should try to survive. When I first saw this, I thought maybe that it looked like Bernard was not active, like he was turned off. But when you watch it a few times, you can see that it looks like he blinks, so he is listening to her. When and how these two come together, we'll have to wait and see. There's more I want to talk about this, but I'll talk about it a little bit later and in my episode 2 recap and review, which I'll do after this video. See a quick glimpse of a guy falling to the ground. Looks like a host. Is he being run down by Dolores? Is he being run down by Delos? Or is he being run down by the Ghost Nation? There's no way to tell from this clip. From there, we see the Ghost Nation. We see them coming in. And of course, there is some connection to that from the first episode where we saw that Dolores told the member of Ghost Nation that not all of them get to go to the Valley Beyond. We did get one of the actors that was cast in episode 2, found out that he's a very old host, as old as Dolores and Angela. And I don't think it'd be surprising at all if he figures into the Ghost Nation's storyline post Ford's death. Now, of course, I say Ford's death because I think they pretty much closed the door on that in episode 1 whenever they showed his body decomposing. That's not a host. There's maggots eating the flesh. But at the same time, it seems like all of what we're seeing and what we're about to see in the rest of this season has all been orchestrated by him before he was taken out. After the Ghost Nation, we get a shot of Hector, who looks excited about something. I don't know if excited is the exact word I'm looking for, but he's interested in what's happening. We see the light sort of flash and get brighter, but not much more there to understand what's happening there. It could be Maeve behind him. It's most likely Maeve behind him, but you can't tell for sure. Then we get a glance of the Delos employees coming across the field. We see those wooden spikes again, and we see what I guess is Confederados. I'm not sure, but they do have numbers, and looks like an organized defense. The Delos employees obviously have a advantage with their firearms. They have like machine guns compared to the regular long guns on the other side. But the fact that they're just walking across the field here kind of tells me that they were surprised to run into this situation. Like I wouldn't think they would advance standing up against a line of enemies if they thought they were going to just get gunned down. So we'll see what's going on with that. After that, we see Maeve looking up at what looks to be snow, probably moving from one world to the other, although we know now that even though she's probably going to Shogun World in episode 5, based on the titles, her child, the one that she's looking for, actually is not in Shogun World. So that's cool to give us something to ponder as to why they actually go there. Then we see Dolores walking across an open space. That's the best thing I could think of to call it. She's got her gun drawn and taking shots, and she takes a shot literally and she gets hit in the waist as she's going. This looks like a single shot from a handgun, similar to what she's holding, I would guess. Not something that the machine gun guys have. Who she's walking up on here, really no way to tell. Whoever it is isn't that good of a shot because they hit her somewhere that probably isn't going to be critical. But, I mean, it's a badass looking little clip there. She looks unbothered by the fact that she gets shot, and she keeps moving forward with that scowl on her face, continuing to shoot without skipping a beat. See another shot of the cannon at sunset as she is finishing up the narration, the voiceover. This is the part where she says the truth is we don't all deserve to make it. And of course, the way that episode 1 was set up, we learned that at some point she's going to turn from killing humans to killing some of the hosts. And that just seems to be foreshadowing against that. She's going to have to cull some of the members out for what they're going to do. I don't know. At some point, they all end up in a lake. So this is all on the way to that happening, but we don't really know what's going on. And then the whole thing wraps up with a shot of a tiger. Is this the tiger that they saw along the bank of the water? I would definitely think so. Although there's nothing to say whether this tiger in this shot is in Westworld or in what is probably Rajworld. If you guys were following theories and spoilers and stuff, someone caught that from the Westworld site, that it looked like it said Rajworld. We know that there's at least 6 parks. We know that one is Shogun World. We know that one is Westworld. We believe that we will see Medieval World and Roman World. But Bengal tigers are from India, and Rajworld seems to be about India, so that seems to be a connection. And why we end the trailer with a tiger is because tigers are cool, I guess, and it's going to play a part in the next episode. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this teaser. There's not all that much that's unpredictable. I guess what I'm most excited about here is Bernard and Dolores meeting up. I'm kind of hoping that this episode revolves more around Bernard. I really am not. I mean, I'll talk about this in the recap for episode 2, but Dolores' story right now is kind of the low point for me. I don't know why, but I'm not feeling it. The Bernard story and the Maeve story seem to be the most interesting out of what we got going on. We saw no Bernard in episode 2, so I hope we get a lot more of him in episode 3. But yes, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with that. I'm looking forward to seeing what this tiger is all about. Where is Maeve exactly when she sees that snow falling? Is that Shogun World? Will we see that a little bit earlier than what's anticipated? There are a few things that we didn't see yet from the trailer that was out last week. We did not see her, even though previous episode was called Reunion, we did not see her reunited with her child. That's coming up. We saw that in the trailer, and obviously we know that she's going to be there. We saw her looking like a Shogun with a pretty cool clip in that trailer as well. So yeah, like I was saying, I think that as more and more stuff comes to light, I think it's pretty clear that Ford knew what was going to happen after he died, and he actually set it up. I mean, we know that he had this thing for Bill, the man in black, to follow, a game to play. We know that he had access to Dolores and her memories and what she's working with now. And obviously back in the past, Bill showed Dolores something that she's after. I do sort of think the Man in Black is going to change sides a bit this season. I don't think he'll be completely a bad guy. How that develops, where that goes, is going to be kind of interesting. I think Delos themselves has been set up as the bad guys. And even though he's in charge on some level, he is obviously doing his own thing. He's not really looking out for their interests. So there's some room for some interesting stuff to happen there. I really don't think what we're going to see is going to be very linear from this point. It could do that. It could happen. I think they have more backstory to fill in with young William, and I think that there is going to be a lot of unreliable stuff we get from Bernard after they set up that list of symptoms that he'll be facing as he's fighting this critical failure that he's been, he gets through it somehow or other because we see him 2 weeks later, but I think there's a roller coaster ride in store for him, and we'll see a whole lot more of that. So let me know what you guys are looking forward to this season, this episode. As mentioned, my time is really tight right now. I really don't have time to do YouTube. I'm going to do the best that I can, and I'm going to do a episode 2 recap. I definitely won't have time to go back to the first episode. And then I'll do it like this. I'll do a trailer breakdown first, right after the episode airs and the trailer comes out. And then I will do a recap and review later in the week whenever I have time to get it out. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. You can check out my Patreon, although things are pretty slow over there now. If we could get that going, then I could take away some time from my other work and focus more, but it just hasn't played out that way so far. You can follow me on Twitter to see when my new videos are coming out, and it was great to have you. I'm excited to be back making videos, even if it's only part-time, and I will be talking to you again soon. Thanks.